shadows. Time to fly, time to fly.
It's the one moment, the moment you think you know where you stand. It's that one moment, the things that you're sure of slip from your hand. You've got 1 second to try to be clear, to try to stand tall, but nothing's the same. And the wind starts to blow, and oh, you're suddenly a stranger. Your life is different than you planned, and you have to stay till you somehow find a way to be sure of what will be. You might be free, though you're suddenly a stranger. All of a sudden, your life is different than you planned, and you have to stay till you somehow find a way to be sure of what will be. You might be free, a new world shattering the silence. There's a new world I'm afraid to see. A new world, louder every moment. Come to me, come to me. A new world goes across the ocean.
Goes across the ocean.
Goes across the sky.
Thank you for joining us for Together We Can, a celebration of arts education. I'm Bruce Valanche, and I'm delighted to host this very special and important event. For the next hour, we will showcase the incredible performing and visual arts programs of the Palm Springs Unified School District and meet some of the fabulous teachers and students that are at the heart of it all. We also have some very special guests dropping in to share their personal stories about the vital need for arts education in our schools. And we will be treated to some wonderful performances by the talented students of David Green's Musical Theater University, one of the school district's most treasured arts programs. The COVID pandemic has caused tremendous upheaval to everything in our lives, everything we used to take for granted. And now, with the state facing a major budget crisis, severe budget cuts to education are forcing school districts to make very difficult decisions. And it's inevitable that the arts may once again become a casualty. I have been a huge advocate for arts education for well over a decade, when I worked closely with Carol Channing and her foundation to restore the arts in all of our schools. That's where I first met David Green. And he invited me to come out to the desert to work alongside the Musical Theater University students in their very first musical, Hairspray, to help raise money and awareness for arts in our schools. The Palm Springs Unified School District has long provided arts instruction and opportunities to young people in every single school and at every grade level, ensuring that every child has the chance to experience art and theater and dance and music and media arts. And now, all of these wonderful programs are in jeopardy. So, tonight we want to celebrate arts education and make the case for the importance of the arts in a complete and well-rounded education for every student. Enjoy the show, and if you feel inspired to help at any time along the way and to make a donation to Save the Arts, you can text to donate at the number that appears on your screen. So let's get started. First, it is my pleasure to introduce you to 16-year-old Ali Guarimi.
Well, I'm being asked why I think it's important to have arts education in schools. Where do I start? When I was growing up, I had a lot of stuff to deal with at my house. There was divorce, there was alcoholism, there was a lot of anger. And then, of course, we had this whole celebrity overlay, which wasn't easy, for a kid. And I got involved in the theater department at my school. And it allowed me to take all of this stuff that I was feeling and transfer it into characters. And I could figure out why characters did what they did based on things similar in my own life and how I felt about them and why I did what I did. It allowed me to release a lot of the anger that I was feeling and put it into something constructive and that actually brought joy to people. I grew up in the 60s in school, and I had a choice. I could either do something useful with all my emotions and all my fears and my sadnesses, or I could do drugs. And a lot of my friends chose the latter, and I'm really glad that that didn't happen to me. I always had a play to produce and direct or star in or do the makeup for, build a set for. It saved my life. It really did. And I watch children now that I teach, and I see that a lot of them come from broken homes or from extreme poverty, and they have a talent, but more than that, they have emotion. They have something deep to draw from, and that's good. That's where you take it. You take it to the stage, you take it to the arts, and you release it there instead of letting it cancer and eat you up. So when I'm asked, do I think it's a good idea to support the arts in schools? I say yes.
I hope you're enjoying the show so far. I'm Patrick Evans, and I'm your co-host for this very special and important event. As we continue to showcase and celebrate arts education, it's important to note that the visual and performing arts are not just a frivolous add-on to the school day. In fact, they are essential. They teach children and young people innumerable lessons. Practice makes perfect. Small differences can have large effects. Collaboration leads to creativity. Instruction in the arts helps students at all ages to develop creative problem-solving skills. Teaching through the arts can present difficult concepts visually, making them more easy to understand. And arts instruction helps children with development of motor skills, language skills, social skills, decision-making, risk-taking, and inventiveness. Art experiences boost critical thinking and build confidence. An arts education connects students with their own culture as well as with the wider world, and it helps them embrace the uniqueness and diversity of every young person. The arts break through social barriers and reinforce the values of respect, teamwork, commitment, motivation, compassion, optimism, perseverance, and creativity. Studies show that young people who participate regularly in the arts are 4 times more likely to stay engaged in school and earn their high school diploma. They are more likely to be recognized for their academic achievement, to have fewer discipline problems, higher attendance, and higher test scores. In short, an arts education encourages students to stay in school, succeed in school, and succeed in life. If you want to help save the arts in Palm Springs throughout the Palm Springs Unified School District, you can text DONATE anytime at the number that appears on your screen.
I wanted to talk to you about the importance of arts in our schools. Well, for me, a personal story is that I couldn't read when I was 12, and I had an opportunity to do a part in a school play. I went to the teacher and I asked her to do the words for me, and I memorized them. I did get the part. But after that, I learned how to read. I wanted so much to be in plays, and suddenly when I read a script, the black words on the white page became alive. They had meaning, because children who learn differently do so by a multi-sensory approach. They need to see something, say it, do a movement, and also have emotion. Don't ever lose this, I beg you, in our schools.
I grew up in a small town in central Illinois. The population was less than 1,000 people. In fact, when I moved to New York City to pursue my career, more people lived in my apartment building than in my hometown. I've had the good fortune to travel the world, performing and directing on Broadway, off-Broadway, in Las Vegas, as well as internationally in Europe and Asia. The education that started my career and gave me those opportunities began with the music, art, and theater instructors in that small town. They gave me the gift of inspiration and the permission to dream. The arts provide students an opportunity to express their emotions. The arts provide a safe place for students to share with others their hopes, their anxieties, their differences, as well as their similarities. The arts provide a safe harbor for those students who sometimes feel they just don't fit in. In many cases, the arts can help young people who struggle with low self-esteem, anxiety, and depression, giving them that safe environment where they can share those feelings. The arts are not a requirement for a high school diploma, but I cannot think of any other form of education that gives students the opportunity to explore a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Please support the arts in our community. Giving to the arts gives you the opportunity to support and encourage the students so that they can dream the impossible and make it possible.
Hello, I'm Barbara England, and as Arts Coordinator for Palm Springs Unified School District, I was asked to give highlights of the rich visual and performing arts classes and programs we provide our students. Palm Springs Unified School District is unique in that we have a Board of Education who has a long history of unprecedented support of the arts. On September 24th, 2019, the Palm Springs Unified School District's Board of Education, in a unanimous vote, made PSUSD the first district in the Coachella Valley and the fifth district in Riverside County an Arts Equity District. This means the Board of Education and the district are committed to all students having equitable access to standards-based arts learning, arts education that reflects and respects our students' culture, language, and background. In Palm Springs Unified, we have elementary music teachers that provide students music lessons weekly. In middle school, we offer band, and some sites offer choir as well. Some middle schools might also offer theater, media arts, and visual arts. In our high schools, we offer band, choir, theater, dance, visual arts, and media arts. And 2 of our high schools offer orchestra along with band. You know the Coachella Valley is quite lucky to have a robust arts community, and the students of Palm Springs Unified benefit from this art community with our arts partnerships. Our students are able to attend world-class performances, learn from well-known artists, see amazing artwork, watch award-winning films, and have Q&A with the filmmakers, to name just a few of the benefits from our partnerships. As you are seeing tonight in this show, the arts are a critical component of the education in Palm Springs Unified. During these uncertain times, your support can help the district to continue to provide our students arts education with these rich classes and programs. As coordinator of visual and performing arts for the district, I thank you for your support of the arts for our students in the Palm Springs Unified School District.
I'm here to talk to you about how the arts impacted my life. When I was in high school, I was a bit of a dork. I didn't really belong anywhere. I was kind of a misfit. I didn't quite know how to do anything or how to belong. I certainly was not popular. And then my school started doing plays. So I went and auditioned and got cast. And I have to tell you that from that very first moment of even being told I got cast, from the rehearsals, from being on stage, the opening night, which, you know, for high school was also the closing night, it was a place that I knew I could call home. It was a place I could express myself. I could be just who I was, and nobody was going to judge me other than being on stage. The arts have been incredibly influential in my life. I've been very blessed that I went on to do 9 Broadway shows. I've recorded 7 CDs. I do a lot of concerts and a lot of cabaret. I've been very blessed in working with some fantastic musicians, and all because of the arts in high school. Please, save the arts. Make it happen. These kids deserve it.
Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. The visual arts, drawing, painting, photography, sculpture, ceramics, animation, and the digital arts help young people unlock the power of their imagination. Studies show that children who are involved in the visual arts are better at adapting to stressful situations and thinking outside the box. And so they learn faster than children who are not involved. The visual arts help prepare to express their feelings in safe and positive ways and help them feel good about themselves. And their artwork motivates them to be better in all of their academic studies. We want to take a few minutes to showcase some of the artwork of the students of the Palm Springs Unified School District. And to help us do that, please meet 15-year-old Kaya Trish.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in a world of my creation. What you see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to, do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly choose to be. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no place I know to compare with your imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly choose to
This is a short story about when I was teaching musical theater. I had one of my classes, 16 second and third graders. You have 16 second and third graders at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's like corralling a bunch of hamsters. So it was Black History Month, and I decided to introduce them to the music of Duke Ellington. And they seemed to enjoy it. At the end of class, I said, I want you to listen to this woman who sang a lot of Duke Ellington songs and probably is one of the greatest jazz singers and scatters in the world. And of course it was Ella Fitzgerald singing, It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing. And they all kind of smiled, some rolled their eyes, and class was over. And the next week I came back to my 16 second and third graders who were running around like hamsters, except for this one little girl, Emily, who came in with a book with a picture of Ella Fitzgerald on it. And I said, Emily, why do you have this book? And she said, well, I really liked her, and it was Black History Month, and we had to do a report, so I picked Ella Fitzgerald. This is why I feel that education in the arts has to be a part of our education system. Love you all. Have a great day.
I believe arts education for young students is so important because it teaches humanity, respect, collaboration. My favorite memories as a child are of being a part of theater shows and getting to work backstage and in rehearsal with all of the other actors and the crew and the director and musicians, and that feeling of making something together that's going to give an audience an experience, and having that face-to-face interaction with people in a world where we are so now bogged down with everything being on a screen and digital. I think now more than ever, arts education is important because it values human connection and change, and we need that now more than ever.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I'd have as lief the town crier had spoke my lines. Nor, do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently, for in the very torrent, tempest, and may I say whirlwind of your actions, you acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance, that you not o'erstep the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end both at first and now is to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and in the very age and body of the time, his pressure and form. There be players that I have seen played and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely, that have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought nature's journeymen had made men and not made them well. They imitate nature so abominably. And let those that play your clowns speak no more than what is set down for them. For there be of them that will themselves laugh to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too. That's villainous and shows a most pitiful ambition to the fool that uses it. Go, make you ready.
I have had the great good fortune of spending the last 50 years in the New York theater. I have been a Broadway producer, performer, and a teacher. And I would like to tell you just a little bit about how this happened and why I am so grateful to the teachers that made it happen. When I was a kid in Wisconsin, a man named Bob Schultz was my choir teacher. And he found something in me and put me on stage. And it was the first time I'd done a musical. He taught me, encouraged me, nurtured me, and when I left high school, I did not go to the University of Wisconsin to become a chemical engineer. I went to New York City. And when I got to New York City, I met a man named Paul Gabbard, my next teacher, who taught me, nurtured me, and made it possible for me to have an early career on Broadway, both in the revival of West Side Story, Dear World opposite Angela Lansbury, Follies, and many other shows. Without these two important people, my life would be very, very different at this point in my life. These were not the only two teachers who helped me along the way, but there are many, many others who gave their time, commitment, and nurtured the talent that allowed me to flourish. So I just want to take a hats off to any teacher who takes a young person and introduces them to the arts and allows them to fulfill their dreams. And if there's anything I can do along those lines to help those other teachers or help programs to keep them functioning, I will do it.
My name is Carson. I have autism and I'm 14 years old and I love art. Art has impacted my life by giving me something fun to do, letting me express myself, and letting me cope with difficult situations. I love art. Please don't take it away.
If I should say I would only be in your way, so I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you.
did my first play when I was 4 years old in the kindergarten. I didn't know much about it except I got applause at the end, and I loved that. Somebody likes me, so I said, I want to do more of that. And so whenever there was an opportunity to be on a stage or be on a show or put on a costume, I was there. And I finally made it to high school, and I was on the football team, and then I got a call that they were having auditions for a play. And I said, well, I gotta see if I can do that. So I auditioned, I got the part, quit the football team, and I met a teacher called Eleanor Cleland from Schenectady, New York. She thought I had something. And whenever there was any kind of a production on that stage, I was in it. I was even in the marching band. I was New York State timpanist. I was anything that was creative. She took me to New York to see plays. We went backstage to meet the actors. And years later, I was doing A Hat Full of Rain on Broadway with Shelley Winters and Ben Gazzara. I was the first replacement. I came out after a matinee one day, and who was standing by the stage door but Miss Cleland with her students, just like she used to be with me. She said, I knew you were going to make it. That was a great moment for me. I think if she was not in my life, I never would have had the gumption to persevere.
It's been said that teachers affect eternity. No one can tell where their influence stops. That adage could not be more true than when spoken about the visual and performing arts teachers of the Palm Springs Unified School District. They inspire creativity and confidence and provide a safe haven for young people to discover their own uniqueness and the wonderful freedom of self-expression. The lessons learned in a performing or visual arts classroom go far beyond the singing or the dancing, the acting, the drawing, the painting, or even playing an instrument. They are lessons about being human. They're lessons for a lifetime. Please meet just a few of the district's dedicated visual and performing arts teachers, teachers who always go the distance.
I have often dreamed of a far-off place where a hero's welcome would be waiting for me, where the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be.
I'll be there someday. I can go the distance. I will find my way. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. When I go the distance, I'll be right where I belong.
The arts are such an important place for students to synthesize the stuff that they're learning in the classroom into opportunities for self-expression and application to their lives at home and outside of school. There have been many times as a music teacher when a student will arrive in the music classroom feeling frustrated or angry or just not engaged with what's happening at school. And over the course of our music class, I see them re-engage, to self-express, to connect with their friends, to have fun singing and dancing or playing an instrument, feeling a sense of accomplishment, saying, I got it, I know how to do it. And they leave music ready to go back to their classroom and learn some more.
The Cathedral City High School dance program and dance classes impact our students' lives not only through teaching them the art of dance, but also through teaching them lifelong learning skills, how to effectively communicate and collaborate with one another, how to work as a team, how to have strong work ethic, dedication, and how to be responsible, along with how to problem solve and critically think on their feet. These are all really important skills needed to survive and thrive in a 21st century society.
One of the greatest aspects of the instrumental music program at Cathedral City High School is our commitment to travel. A travel curriculum enables students to see beyond the classroom and to see the world and themselves in new ways. It helps them grow as people by developing independence, leadership, problem-solving skills, worldliness, and maturity. And it helps the students grow as citizens by building compassion, understanding, connections, and perspectives that transcend boundaries and borders.
The art room is not only a safe haven for a lot of my students, it's also a place where when they're expressing themselves through their art, I'm able to get to know them on a deeper level. So for example, I had a student, his artwork was letting me know that there was something else going on. I was able to pull him aside and have a conversation where he told me his mom had cancer and was going to have surgery the next week. So of course, this is very traumatic for anyone to go through and causes so much stress and so much worry. And how do you expect for the student to concentrate on his other classes when he has something like this hanging over his head all the time and this constant worry? During those rough months, art was there for him and it allowed him to have a place to release and to express himself. So it was really important.
This is my 4th year teaching at the high school. And prior to my arrival, the dance classes never had the opportunity to perform in public or for their family and friends. But what I offer each year is called the Fall Dance Spectrum and the Spring Dance Spectrum, where all the classes are showcased as well as the dance team. The dance team in the history of the school has never competed. I'm happy to say that the dance team, because of their accomplishments, has now qualified for the nationals. And also my dance team captain of the last 2 years has graduated and he's pursuing dance as a profession.
Concert days are always wonderful. I get more hugs on concert day than any other day of the year because students are so excited to show off everything they've learned, and it really helps to create a sense of community on the campus. The teachers are excited, the students are excited, and they know that the parents are coming on to the campus that day to see them perform.
Theater is important, especially in high school, because it gives the students skills that they will be able to use for the rest of their lives. They learn how to manage time, stress, meet deadlines, manage work, homework in their case, and rehearsals, and how to interact with a variety of people. These soft skills are what set them apart when they are applying for colleges and jobs. Mostly, I think, though, theater is important because of the sense of belonging that develops. The students who are in theater become a family. Theater is family, a family that chooses you.
Music and the arts have such an important place for our students in our schools. Every student at every grade level learns something about themselves and about the world through the exploration of the arts.
I will search the world, I will face its harms, till I find my heroes welcome waiting in your
After 40 years in the Broadway arena, I actually found my true calling, which is teaching theater in high school. I started teaching in college, and now I'm teaching with MTU which is an extraordinary arts program here in the Valley. And I can't say how important it is. I can tell you about a student who asked her mother to move from Nashville to Palm Springs so that she could attend this program. She heard so much about it. And she was a student with just passion. She had no training. She was terrified when she was in the classroom. She cried out of insecurity and out of fear. She finally got the leading role in her senior year. She's just graduated and she was accepted by 4 or 5 of the best theater schools, colleges in the country. So to go from being a terrified 14, 15-year-old, but knowing desperately what she wanted, to actually getting there, to me is remarkable. I remember what it was like. I remember that the only place I felt truly safe was in my theater classes, in my choir room, with all those kids who were willing to admit that they wanted something as badly as I did, and didn't have to prove to the world that they were too tough to care.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you can fall and no one could hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know, to take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around, you will be found. You will be found.
There's a place where we don't have to feel unknown. And every time that you call out, you're a little less alone.
If you only say the word,
From across the silence, your voice is heard. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be
I'm Brian Batt, and I think the arts are so important. As the late, great Terrence McNally told me, the arts feed our souls, and I think our souls are quite hungry right now. Years ago when I was younger, I loved the theater. I loved to perform as a young boy. And as time went on, in my environment, in the school I was in, it wasn't considered cool. The theater people were made fun of. So I tried to do sports. I was horrible. And then one day, the drama teacher stopped me in the hallway and remembered my performances and said, "When are you going to try out for my shows? You know you're good. You know you'd love it. Come on, try out and lose the soccer ball." Anyway, I did. And 9 Broadway shows later, a bunch of off-Broadway shows later, hit TV series Mad Men and other stuff later, I'm a happy working actor.
I grew up in a dysfunctional family where I had such volcanic anger at my parents, mostly my father, that I did not know what to do with it. And I was, by complete accident, thrown into an arts program at the University of Arkansas. And I had a professor there who saved my life, literally, by saying, "Get up on that chair, do Hamlet right now." And I was stuck with, how do I do this? And all of a sudden, all of the emotion that I had in my heart that was so destructive to me and to all those around me, I began to put into those characters. And it was salvation. And that's why the arts belong in the schools, because there's so many of us out here who grow up in those kind of circumstances.
The time is now. We have a responsibility to all of the artists and all the great works of art, generations before us, and we have a responsibility in our time to pass that torch to the youth who will take it to tomorrow. So this is the moment. Right now, please contribute and know that you and your contribution is helping write the history that we live in right now, which is always expressed on the stage, in movies, in books. Save the arts. We can do it together.
Hi, I'm Michael Childers, photographer, producer, and a great friend of MTU and David Green's incredible students at the Musical Theater University. They bedazzle us. They work so hard. They rehearse for hundreds of hours. They're so gifted. They're so gifted, and so many of them are ready to go on to greater things in other universities and to theaters and who knows, Broadway. Please help them, and hope to see you at their next show.
I can't thank you enough for spending this very special hour with the students and teachers of the Palm Springs Unified School District and our very special celebrity advocates for arts education. If you're like me, you can't help but be inspired by these talented young people and their incredible teachers. And this is just a thumbnail sketch of all the Palm Springs Unified School District provides in arts education. This district is committed to offering arts exposure and experiences to every child and young person grades K to 12 and on every school campus. But state budget cuts are going to make this impossible unless we all do what we can to make it happen for these kids. If you're in a position to make a donation to save the arts in the Palm Springs Unified School District, I urge you to text and donate now. No gift is too small. We need to provide theater, music, dance, and the visual and digital arts to the next generation. And if there's one thing I learned from my own Broadway stint in Hairspray, if we all do our part, you can't stop the beat.
You can't stop an avalanche as it races down the hill. You can try to stop the seasons, girl, but you know you never will. And you can try to stop my dancing feet, but I just cannot stand still. 'Cause the world keeps spinning round and round, and my heart keeps time to speed of sound. I was lost till I heard the drums and I found my way. 'Cause you can't stop the beat. Ever since this whole world began, a woman found out if she shook it, she could shake up a man. And so I'm gonna shake it.
Together.
Together. Together.
Together we can.
Together we can. Together we can.
Together we can save the arts.